I think that red pill as a definition, again, is starting to get a little bit clouded.
I think people who consider themselves men's rights advocates are actually much more based in reality than feminists.
My working definition of the red pill is a set of knowledge and know-how that facilitates the construction of a worldview that pertains to men's place in society and to intersexual dynamics in particular.
But it's laden with artificial sweeteners and all kinds of other things that aren't good for you. They've been broadcasting to you publicly, blue pilled, if you will, eat this, you'll be healthy, slim, and lose weight, and look good. But the truth of the matter is, when you're red pilled, you know it's crap and it's not good for you.
I don't want to sound like an asshole, man, but I don't do shit for the express pleasure of women, man. It's a waste of time. It's way more important to protect her than to please her. Who gives a fuck about a woman's? It's useless.
Right.
Capable of having sex with other women while still loving his girl the same.
You're actually saying that in a relationship, it's okay for men to go and explore other options, but we have to be happy with you and not explore options.
Absolutely.
Shit. I mean, once you understand things as they are, not as you've been told they should be, then that's when I truly think that you become red pill. And
It gets bastardized. Pill way back in 2004. And now what's happened is it gets bastardized. And people want to use it for their political ideologies, their personal ideologies, their religion, whatever it is. That is, I used to think stupid false stuff, and now I think the right stuff.
But the question is, why are you arguing with your husband? Now, this might sound crazy to those of you getting red pilled, but if you've heard your parents argue before, or your friends, or maybe you've argued, it's the woman's fault.
You know what I'm saying? What matters better? You think he'd be greater if he was over 6 foot, had 6-pack, and a big dick, or should he just have a lot of money?
The thing with Albert Einstein is that he had status, guys. Like, that.
What if he had more?
Okay, that's fine, but if you know that you're going to get catcalled, shouldn't you take preventative steps to make it less apparent?
Exactly.
Or less apparent?
No.
Because that's just a little bit of
There's a difference when you're not trying to provoke it.
Ladies, see, this is typical female behavior, not taking accountability. Between her giving you a compliment and receiving it, etc. What I've come to realize is this. Women give compliments to ease tension, and they don't mean it. Men insult each other to ease tension, and they don't mean it. That's the difference. Men show camaraderie by making fun of each other and not meaning it, and women show camaraderie by giving each other compliments and not meaning it, because the female psyche is much more fragile than the male psyche.
But I'm telling you, the number one thing you should do is avoid farming experiences with fat and ugly women.
What's the black pill? What's the white pill? What's the purple pill? What's this pill? What's your mom pill?
Like, typically guys used to think like, women are sugar and spice and all that's nice and they can never do anything wrong and happy wife, happy life. And a lot of guys have realized like those little like sayings are actually a false reality.
The community is chasing. What should we be aiming at?
One thing that I don't like about a lot of red pill creators and like the Tates, I feel this thing, is people will always say things like, I'm luring you in with the cars and the money and the girls, but I'm ultimately trying to sell you self-improvement. I feel like that's a deal with the devil that just doesn't.
Hey, hi, hello. It's your boy, Tsunami. And right now we're out here in the beautiful sun, here to talk to you about something that I've been thinking about for a while. In my big researchings back onto YouTube and back into life in general, I've been thinking about me. I've been thinking about what I like, what I enjoy in my life and everything like that. So I've been watching a lot of YouTubers and trying to gain inspiration for all of that. And in doing so, I've come across the red pill content. Now, I've been aware of red pill for a long time. I've been aware of blue pill. I've been aware of the terms. I'm in this space. I'm in the space in that I know about the space. But now I'm really putting myself in this space with this video. So here we are. I want to talk about if you have been pilled. Have you been pilled? And if so, which pill is it? There are many, many, many pills. If you've seen the montage I had in the beginning, it shows all the different kinds of pills that people will talk about. There's just so many different ideologies out in this world, right? You could have a religious ideology, you could have a self-centered ideology. Your ideology can be based on materialistic goods. Your ideology can be based off of the work that you do, like more intrinsic means. or emotional means, whatever the case, right? There's so many different ways to frame and shape your world, right? That's why I always say that God's in the mind, because I believe that we create our own heaven and hell, right? We make our world, essentially. How we see and how we think is vastly different from how someone else sees and thinks about the world. So when you see all those sepia tones in Breaking Bad, when they're trying to display Mexico, that could be someone's reality. That shade, like right now I see the beautiful blue sky, the greenery, I see everything around me, right? But that to someone else could be a sepia shade of depression. You don't know. You just don't know. So that's why a lot of these organized groups like religion and all that, and self-help groups, they try to encompass all the aspects of life, or at least the main aspects of life that are supposed to keep you fulfilled. And they do it pretty well, I must say. They do it well, and they're able to harbor and help people grow. I think the biggest example of this would be Andrew Tate. And while he has a lot of detractors, me, myself included, and I think he also formally got charged. He actually got charged yesterday, which is crazy to me, but not surprising. But even Andrew Tate, right? I was talking to a viewer when I was streaming for a bit. They are being benefited. Like he says some things that are very beneficial, right? So some things that, you know, you hear this and you're like, okay, yeah, as a young man or even a young woman, I agree with what he's saying, and I do agree that this is probably true about how men are in the world. And okay, yeah, I can give him this benefit, right? But then when it goes into this misogynist talk about how women are objects and they should be controlled and you should withhold your love and you shouldn't see them as anything above you just because you're a man and just because you were born, like when it gets into that bullshit, it's like, come on, bro, why are we trying to do the same thing that was done onto us as black people? Because Tate's black. Tate's part black, at least. Like, why are we trying to do the same thing again? Right? White people disproportioned us just because we were born black. So why should we disproportion women just because they were born women? But anyhow, I already know the arguments for that, but that's a video for another day. I have 2 other videos that's going to relate to the red pill as well as my ideology, which is the individualist ideology. And I'm going to explain that, but the main thing I want to harp about when it comes to ideologies, the main thing I want to talk about, not everything that you're going to learn or read is going to be perfection, right? You have to understand, a lot of things are man-made, including the Bible. So not everything you're going to get from it is going to be 100% applicable to your life. Or I should say this as well. It shouldn't be something you apply 100% to your life, right? Because one, it may be incompatible with you, which is very important. I'm learning that nowadays, that some things, they're just not for me. They're just not for me, and no matter how attractive I find them, right? Or how much I want to be a part of it, it's not for me. And doing anything else would just hurt me. Would hurt me, the being, in the long run. So there's that, right? You gotta consider that when it comes to picking and choosing which methods or ideologies you want to follow. And second, first, not all the ideology may not be compatible for you, but the second thing is that maybe the ideology itself is just wrong, right? And I know that part is more subjective. That part we'll argue and everything like that, but I ultimately think, if we're talking about the red pill solely, I think disproportioning a group just because they were born with a 50% chance as lesser, that's just bad. I think that's just bad in general. And you can give me all the biology debates and all that shit, but they said the same thing about black people, about having a smaller brain, bigger head, and all these like bigger nose, like all these physical features that would somehow signify lesser intelligence. So you can't give me that shit, and you'll try, but don't give me that shit, man. I will not accept that argument. But again, that's for a later video. This video though is really just to see, where is your head at? Where's your mind at? Very basic, very general overview. Do you feel that you are thinking the way you want? I don't think I am. And even though I have this ideology, I'm still trying to learn and gain from so many different ideologies, because even the individualistic ideology is not the best one, face value. Like, looking at it wholly, I'll just give like a brief example. The main thing is being self-centered, like wholly being a very self-centered person. So that means being selfish. Let me give you an example. One time there was a woman who dropped her cell phone in New York on the subway track, right? People saw it, they weren't gonna do anything, right? That was like a good, I would say like 45 seconds before I did something, but no one else did anything. So after that 45 seconds, I got the phone, got out, right? If I was a true individualist, I wouldn't help her. I wouldn't care at all. Or I would take the phone and run. One of the two. That's the individualistic mindset right there. To be self-centered and self-serving. And I think both are good. But in moderation. And not only moderation, but with scrutiny. You have to be very... That's the thing with life. Like with League of Legends, everything is ever changing. Your situation is ever changing. Not one situation is going to be the same as another. Not everything that was applicable for this one solution or this one problem is going to be applicable for the same problem consistently forever. I mean, that's what we would hope for. We would hope that 2 + 2 is going to equal 4 forever. But are the 2 + 2 = 5 theorists really wrong? They probably are. But you get my point though, right? Is what we do in life, everything we do, the risks we take, the chances we take, they're chances. It's a percentage. When we try to find a solution to a problem, we're trying to find a solution that's as close to 100% as we can. Because perfect doesn't exist. Perfection does not exist. We can have 100%, what's the word? Efficiency? We can have 100% efficiency, but it doesn't mean we're creating 100% capable output. And I think those words are gotta really think about those words. So let me try to break it down. You can be running at 100% efficiency with whatever product you're using. Let's say we're talking about my legs, right? 100% efficiency, I'm running. Ooh, this is like this is not 100%, but assume this is 100%. I'm running at 100% efficiency right now, right? But that's because of the source material that I have. Those are my legs. There's people way faster than me with their legs. That's because their legs are stronger. They went through more training, more exercise. They were built for running. Legit, they built their legs to run at a much faster and better pace than me. And they can do it with a lower efficiency. You get what I'm saying now? It's all about how you utilize your resources. So you can be going 100% in your beliefs and your ideology. But maybe it's at 50% of that one ideology and 50% of another that's really going to take you over the hump. Maybe stop going so hard. And for the people that aren't going that hard, maybe go harder. Like, it's all about finding a balance. I am still struggling to find that balance. But when I do, this will be much bigger, much better, and I'll be much happier. But for now, all I can do is recognize that, do better, and recalibrate. This is 100% not the video I wanted to make, but I will, again, I have 2 more videos that I'm going to do. I'm going to have a What is the Red Pill video, and I'm going to have a individualistic video. It won't be like this. This is very, I don't want to say this is impromptu, but it's not going to be edited in the way that I would like to edit my videos. I think this is more so like how I would do my Snapchats. I just like to talk, I like to really give my thoughts, and I like to make it raw. I don't have the full research to really be giving concrete examples, but I feel like I have the words and at least the logic right now. The logic and the experience to really talk about this. So be on the lookout for my next 2 videos. I think they're gonna really open up your minds and just help you guys see that there's more to the world than what you've been given. There's way more to the world than what you've been given. You gotta explore new things, because I tell people all the time, I tell them all the time, we don't have much in this world. You have to assume nothing but expect everything, but you can't do that doing nothing. Okay? Alright, well that's it. That's your boy. I'm gonna go eat some Raisin Bran because my fiber is terrible, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Take it easy.
To be blue pill. Okay, so first and foremost, these are, again, abstract terms, okay? The red pill as a sort of a terminology was created, or was like, it got bounced around back in the day in the old seduction communities and the seduction forums. And we didn't even really call it red pill at that time. We said unplugging from the matrix, right? Because things happen.
What I'm referring to is the fetishization of religious traditionalism, exemplified by what many refer to as the red pill movement.
Beforehand, and he said that he's been in many situations where something like that has happened, and I thought, well, you know, that sort of is appealing to the Hugh Hefner Playboy 14-year-old fantasy that sort of gripped our culture from the 1960s onward. But imagine that you sleep casually with 100 women in a 6-month period, or a 3-month period for that matter, or a 3-week period. I don't care, pick your time frame. Ecstatic with yourself because you've been validated by this opportunity. And I'm not making light of that. It's not nothing to be attractive to women like that. It's really something to be attracted to women like that. But it isn't obvious to me that your choice to conduct yourself in that manner enriches your life and the life of other people more in any way than picking one person and actually having a relationship with them. It's only true that that promiscuous pathway, let's say, is better if you can actually divorce sexuality from all the other elements of life. Say, well, it's about variety and it's about impulsive pleasure. Well, maybe it could be even slightly deeper than merely impulsive pleasure. It could be shared impulsive pleasure. But I don't think you can do that, because sexuality isn't divorceable from family and from morality and from all the other elements of your life. And if you're mature, you know that. So you make a decision. You make a decision not to capitalize on your opportunity, not to misuse your opportunities. And you know, a huge part of the Me Too phenomena, a huge part of this battle that's being played out in our culture is a consequence of the failure of men to recognize that. Now, it's not only the failure of men, let me be absolutely clear about that, because, for example, with the example of the sports superstar, the women who are lining up in front of him, parading themselves and offering themselves, are deeply complicit in this pathological game. And so, and I also don't think it does your soul any good, because the problem with treating other people as casual sexual partners, let's say, is that you also treat yourself that way simultaneously. And I don't think that that does you any good, because you're not, unless that's what you want to be. If you want to be a casual partner, it's like, well, I wouldn't say that's a particularly noble ambition. You should be able to do better than that.